going to dive into it, guys. Let's see here. Yeah, let's charge into the Ask Mac segment, and then we'll get right back to the music. I promise, guys, because I have a couple of good letters here for you guys. First of all, from Miss Lurky McLurkinson, since it's kind of in line, we'll just jump into this. I know I sound nosy, and I am, but is it by choice? Do you prefer a nomadic lifestyle, or is it just life being a bitch? You know what's funny is both of those are actually true. It is a preferred choice in lifestyle. For the last few years, especially before I found Twitch, when I was touring, I liked to live a very low-key musical life and go hiking and soak in hot springs and hang out in the mountains in Colorado and do little tours that didn't make any money. So basically, it is a choice of lifestyle, and it's a choice that I made knowing that kind of doing my style of music isn't ever going to make you rich. And in fact, you're lucky if you can, have a roof over your head. So that's why, most of my life I've lived in RVs and vans and trailers, and yeah, it's but my family's been doing this for a lot of generations, so it's not like a shock like to us. Like even my oldest brother, who you guys will see on Sunday at noon for the family jam, he's 50, I think now, and he still lives the same nomadic musician lifestyle. So it's kind of both. But so thank you for that, Miss Lurky. And here's what we got up next. This is pretty funny. And you know what's funny about that? Thanks, Dom. You know what's funny about that is, like, as long as you emit more positive energy into the world than negative, it seems like the world just always takes care of you. You know what I mean? Like, I knew I was going to get, I wasn't ever going to get rich doing what I'm doing. So hell, when I went to college, I went for philosophy because I knew it was never going to make me any money. So I knew this is what I wanted. So luckily, I am one of those lucky guys that knew exactly what he wanted to do, and it doesn't have to sit around wondering about that. Yeah, so far it does. I'm sure it won't work forever. I'm going to get old like everybody else, and I'm probably going to settle down someday, and that day seems to be getting close. I don't know. But so thank you for that, Miss Lurky. Next question is, this one's hilarious, is, do you like girls or boys? Which type? This one is from Russia Hype. I could tell. I like girls. I'm straight as an arrow, sadly, and I dig chicks. Well, I love all women, of all type. Like, I don't think I could ever pick a type. I think every woman, just like a flower, they're all different, all unique, all appreciable. So that's an easy one to answer. I love women and every shape, size, type, race, creed, color, tender hue, you name it. Next up is from Festy Version. This question is, what makes a perfect relationship? This is because we've kind of been on a relationship kick the last couple of days, and a couple of the questions we have here. Gavin, what's up? Which type of girls? Hairy and scary. Oh, yeah, Dark wants to Billy Joel. Get through that. But what makes a perfect relationship? That's pretty easy. Well, I think, first of all, no such thing, really. And what makes a perfect relationship is a couple that agrees that it can never be a perfect relationship. Of course, other than that, it's my opinion that there's only one thing, if you boil it all down in the end, that makes a shitty relationship and kills them. And that's secrets. And by secrets, I don't just mean like keeping a secret. I mean, even something as simple as not expressing how you feel honestly when you're feeling something towards your partner, then that is a secret. It builds up, festers, and in my relationship, it always boils down to not being honest enough. And if you are not with somebody that you can be 100% honest with, you're with the wrong person. So that's my take on what makes a perfect relationship. Really, it's about just the ability to communicate honestly. That's if you boil it down. But okay, let's see. Next up here. Dumb Pirate, welcome. Sit down and grab a drink, buddy. We're almost done with the Ask Mac segment here. Oh, here's one from Bob Shy says, "Why do you make such funny faces? You look stupid." Well, to be honest, I just can't help it. But so that's one thing. But another thing is, I realized quickly that I was definitely no Pavarotti, and I was also never going to be any Stevie Ray Vaughan. So I had to rely on funny faces to make people listen to my music. So that's the best answer I can give there. Okay, next question's pretty long. This one is from Anonymous. I like the anonymous ones. Those are great. Drink it before this one. This one's kind of long. The Dumb Pirate says, "I always thought that was your wife that you stream with." Nope. I'm a single man. Faces mean you dig it. That's right, Tom. All right, here's the last question that we have today. This one says, "What would you do if your girlfriend didn't want to visit your sick mother with you, gets mad when you text your mother, and doesn't want anything to do with your family? And you've asked her to compromise thousands of times, and she just won't." And then there's a more detailed explanation down here in the comments. It says, "Well, pretty much, my girlfriend and I have been together for a year and a half now, and she won't let me near her house, even till this day. I haven't met her mother. She doesn't come to any family get-togethers with my family because she's not like that. My mother has cancer, and she still won't just come with me to visit her because she's not like that. I'm always torn between my mom and my girlfriend because she won't compromise at all for me. I've tried to get her to compromise for the past year, saying, please just come visit her with me and I'd make me happy, etc., etc. Nope, she won't. Then on New Year's, my mom was alone. I said, can we go visit her, please? And she said, no, again, I'll just leave. And then in conclusion, says, I think New Year's was my tipping point. So at this point, I'm pretty much burnt out and done. Okay, so just to recap, Sterling, how you doing? Just to recap for you guys who are just coming in, this questioner says, what would you do if your girlfriend didn't want you to visit your sick mother, gets mad when you text your mother, doesn't want anything to do with your family, and you've asked her to compromise thousands of times and she won't? And when he does ask that she says, no, I'm not going to go visit your mother who's sick and dying of cancer because I'm not like that. Wow. What kind of manipulative succubus are you dating? All right. So I've been waiting for 4 days to get in on this one, guys. So let's dive in. Gex, how are you, buddy? Welcome. I know. And one of the reasons why I've been excited to really get balls deep into this question is because I think a lot of us have had experiences like this. My more recent relationships have been so much better. And, that just, I'm not sure if that's because people mature as we get older, but anyway, let's get into this. So since it is formulating a question, he says, what would you do if your girlfriend did any of that stuff? Here's how it works. So first of all, I think, and anyone, of course, I'm always looking for your input. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the first step would always be usually to talk to the girl about it, to say like, hey, do you realize that that's kind of sounds like a little heartless, and, talk with her about it, again, communication. But if she's not even mature enough to have that conversation with you, then there's really nothing you can do to help her. But again, I don't know the girl. I don't know what her motives are. Like, if she hates your mom or something like that, who knows? But in my experience, it's not really like that. And again, trying to have any conversation about that with somebody, like if it's not obvious that that's like creepy and a little heartless to her, then, you might just be barking up an impossible tree, man. I mean, you can't overhaul somebody's entire personality, especially, they need to have like a little bit of a moral foundation or a spiritual foundation. It doesn't even matter what kind of foundation somebody has, whether it's ethical, moral, spiritual, just something to kind of give you a general code of right and wrong in life, right? So but without that, you can't even really have deep conversations like that with somebody. And if that's the case, if that's the kind of girl she is, if you can't have this conversation with her, then it's just up to next time. I would say, end it quickly and honorably. Explain to her why. but yeah, without judgment or blaming, if you can do that, and just move on and try to make better choices. But that's not easy, man. Um, and just in recap, like in my experience, there is something really important. Like I've noticed a lot of mates, if you have a really close family, a lot of partners are going to be very jealous of a close family. They want to be number one in your world. And that's hard. That's hard for people to deal with. I have a really close family, and it's really hard I mean, almost all of my girlfriends have struggled with it a little bit, because we're really close, really tight. And some people, have admitted to, kind of being jealous about that, which is fine. That might be a natural reaction. Talk with her about it, and if she can't talk with that, can't have that conversation, then you're probably wasting your time. But I mean, and lastly, I think that there is a balance. Like I personally have screwed up a lot. Like, I was once with a girlfriend for 7 years, and she hated my family, and I never saw them like for 7 years because I was in love, and I was young. It was my first long relationship. And after that, I swore I would never do it again. And then some relationships, I actually hung out too much with my family and didn't make enough time for them. Like everything in a relationship, it's a balance. But I think for the questioner here, if you ask your girlfriend to go visit your sick mother with you, and she's not like that and refuses, then that's just a personal choice of, what kind of person you want to be with, or, But yeah, that's my 2 cents on it, man, really. Again, recap. Step 1 is converse with each other honestly. Express your feelings. Have that conversation with your girlfriend if possible. If she's not mature enough to have that conversation, yeah, well. And again, something tells me that the questioner here is much smarter than I was at that age and is making the right decision, because it looks like he's moving on and pulling the plug. So, yeah, and just to read some of your guys' comments here. Miss Lurky says, I mean, I've got quite a bad anxiety and I always fear meeting new people. Perhaps she is just scared. But yes, she should be honest and tell him if that's the case. True that. Honesty always, right? Dom says, I mean, I would be anxious seeing my partner's dying mother, but I would tell them how I felt. Exactly. Just say, hey, I'm really nervous. Or your mom, like let's say if she didn't like his mom for some reason, then just tell him that and say, again, it's just, there's not much overthinking here. It's really, if you're not with somebody that you can honestly and openly communicate with and is capable of reciprocating that, then yeah, it's probably not a healthy relationship. And at least that's been my experience, and I've made this mistake over and over and over again. So yeah, as long as you got a good balance and you're not unreasonable, I think it's pretty important that somebody understands the importance of family and relationship. But anyway, thank you, all of you guys, for having the courage to write me about this stuff, because when I read things like this, I think it was just like Sterling was saying, or Scrivens in here was saying, it sounds like it's talking about me. I know, because we've all had this experience. So, yeah, it could be young. So, it was Sterling, I think, who said that, but... And then she can explain herself, Dom, yeah. But it doesn't sound, and again, I'm not sure, might not be the case, but it doesn't sound like she's able to have that conversation. So, all right, guys, let's get back to the tunes. Thanks again for all those questions, because I learned a ton from that, too. It lets us know that we're not crazy if we know that we have the same experiences. So, thank you very much. All right, now, let's see if we got any decent requests while we were doing that. Right. Ooh, Coral wants to hear some Disney, some Lennon. Grace Bell threw out some Lyra Lynn in the request lines. Thunder, what's up? Thanks, Dom. Yeah, I thought that was a great question, and it's so weird because I've been in relationships like that before a lot. It's like it seems to be like a problem, a recurring problem. Or either that, maybe my family is intolerable and it's just going to be a problem forever.